Guys, we had the second Republican debate live on CNN last night. My eyes and ears had blood dripping from them. Truly an astonishing.
Even you didn't see all of it.
I didn't see. I couldn't. I couldn't. I mean, I recorded all 5 on the Skybox, and I realized that was just not going to be a starter. I would have spent the whole morning, including right through our taping time. So I started going through commentary from The Guardian, The New York Times, and others just to see what the consensus was, as well as Twitter and everything else. I then watched several of the clips. It's just truly an astonishing level of stupid, led by the network still looking for the missing Malaysian Airlines plane and Donald Trump's hair. I mean, this was their ratings bonanza in the first hour. By the third hour, it was ridiculous. It was held at the Reagan Library in Simi Valley in front of an old Air Force One 707. And it's ironic that an 8.3 magnitude earthquake happened as they began down in Chile. The Guardian's Jeb Lund had the best quote of the night. He says, "This 3-hour debate format should never happen again. You can tell these people are loopy. Everyone is loopy. Nobody's brain is functioning properly. That might be kind of sort of a test of these guys in a high-stress environment as president, but those will be real circumstances. This is just an exhausting simulation with more pandering. No more. Spare us. I don't remember what my family looks like. All I know is that I have values for them."
Brilliant.
The Hill declared the winners and the losers. Carly Fiorina was the clear winner, and she shouldn't even have been there based on her poll results. Rubio came in a strong second. Christie, Carson, and Cruz were also there. The Donald also was there in the winner category.
How did Jeb Bush come over?
Well, he's a loser.
Very well.
Walker, Paul, and Bush were the losers, and those who had a mixed performance were Kasich and Huckabee. And Bush was invisible for the first 2 hours, had a good third hour. The big issues, Planned Parenthood and abortion. I cannot believe how they have so conflated that one little piece of videotape into the false meme of selling body parts. And even Fiorina had the body alive and kicking on the fetus on the table. It's like, come on, guys. You know, it's such a false meme. They do abortions, yes. 3% of what they do is abortions. Mostly, they help young women. And you would think that a party that already has a woman problem would step up and do something.
I mean, what interests me is how, what are your views on this? I mean, it seems to me that, in a sense, the Trump bandwagon, they tackled Trump, and he didn't do that well. So maybe the whole Trump thing is starting to falter a bit.
You would hope so.
Well, I think he showed from. I've watched a couple of clips. I didn't watch much of it at all, but I've seen a few clips this morning. But there was a moment where Trump had the first kind of what I saw as the first moment of contrition, where he didn't apologize to Fiorina, but he made that comment before about her looks, and then she called him out on it. Yeah, she kind of called him out on it and said, "Yeah, America heard that. Don't you worry." And he was he then sort of said, "Yeah, you are a beautiful woman," as if that's going to atone for it, But it's interesting because like my pick Rubio, I think, is now becoming I think a very strong, not antithesis to Bush, to Trump, yeah. But Trump is still winning hands down in polling, even after last night, from what I read.
Rubio did not put a step in the wrong place last night. I mean, he was on. The interesting thing about that exchange that you did was that apparently the Des Moines Register is out today with the most blistering editorial about Trump. Describing him as the guy in the bar, who's constantly looking at your chest, who says these things, and it's just, the rudest, most vile human being. And, the guys love him, but everybody else hates him.
I mean, I'm always reminded when I see Trump of a scene in Father Ted. I don't know if you remember Father Ted.
I do.
And it was a fantastic series. And there was an episode when Father Ted was judging a beauty contest, right? And he said, "And number 7 has a lovely bottom." And the organizer is very angry and whispers in his ear, and he said, "I'm so sorry. They all have lovely bottoms." I mean, he just doesn't get it, does he?
Well, part of me still kind of thinks that this is just a big joke, like a big advertising campaign for Trump. I want to have this sort of feeling, and I want to believe that really he's just using this for self-promotion and he's not actually serious. But I don't know. Is he really gonna go all the way and try to become president? If these polls continue, and it's very different to the last GOP race where somebody came up for 2 or 3 weeks and then dropped away because they said something stupid. He's just continually saying stupid things and getting stronger and stronger. So it's amazing, really.
It's Donald Trump and Ben Carson and everybody else. Donald Trump is somewhere around about 35%. Carson's around about 17%. Everybody else is in single digits, and it's truly astonishing.
Just can't believe it. Are they seriously going to make Trump or Carson the presidential nominee?
Well, and if Fiorina, after her performance last night, is now seen as someone who could step up to the top, they had a huge fight over Trump's 4 bankruptcies and her $40 million parachute. And by the way, Hewlett-Packard came out and announced it's firing another 30,000 workers yesterday, just before she went on stage with the debate. Another great Lund quote from The Guardian. It's like watching 2 pure Snow White Pomeranians with diamond collars fighting over T-bone on a bed made of money. I just...
It's a good image.
This is really good, but it's very accurate as well. I just don't understand why they can't seem to get to some of the major substantive issues. Last night, Richard Engel of NBC News filed a report that was one of the better ones I've seen on what's happening in Syria with the Syrian refugees. And he was stuck on the Hungarian border with a bunch of them just as it closed, and showed the police and what was going on, and he talked and he interviewed people. None of these serious issues are making it into these debates.
That's a key point, that, isn't it? There are issues within the Republican Party that should be aired. I don't have to agree with them, but this belief in small government and low taxation and all that. We don't hear any of these sorts of things.
But Maggie Thatcher had a good night last night.
Oh yeah, she was.
Bush wants to put her on the $10 bill.
$10 bill. That says it all, really.
Yeah, and Rosa Parks came in second, by the way, and Ben Carson's mom came in third. So, it was a stupid question, but it was even stupider the way they tried to answer it.
I don't know if you guys saw that video of Bernie Sanders going to the Christian demonstration.
Liberty College, yeah.
Liberty College, yeah. And that was really interesting because he went into the Lion's Den and, answered questions on abortion with how many, 20,000 in that room who were all, pro-life, as it were.
I was amazing to see. I watched the C-SPAN coverage of it, and people were sitting on their hands, absolutely not applauding, except the 2 rows of Bernie's supporters that were in the front, which made a lot of noise. And it was truly astonishing.
But he did a very, very good job of placating the audience, or saying to the audience, look, you don't agree with me, I don't agree with you. I think we can, be in those 2 positions. But then he twisted it beautifully. He, went to a segue on, you think that the GOP is for small government, but then talking about the ways in which the bills that were being passed were, really sort of legislative against ordinary people. It was a really brilliant way of sort of undoing the abortion debate.
But the problem is nobody in that room is going to listen to a word he has to say.
No, maybe not. But I think that the fact that he went in and did it, showed that actually, he is able to. It was almost a statement of, I am tough enough, I'm presidential enough to be able to deal with any kind of crowd.
Exactly. And Chris Christie lied again, surprise, surprise, about being appointed U.S. Attorney the day before 9/11. I don't understand why he continues to push that meme when it's been disproven over and over and over again. But it's like he's caught in the lie, and he's like a little boy. He's just going to continue to do it.